Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Lovely to see you. I'm Janice, and I'm doing a yin-ish yoga practice today. And we'll need a couple of blocks, possibly. And I don't have a strap with me right now, so I've just got this stretchy thing, but you could have a strap. I've got something to sit on, so you could have a blanket, or I've got this little squishy thing. And that's about it. And we're going to begin in Sukhasana, a seated pose. And I sit on something just to give me a little bit of height. So my hips are tilted forward, and it's a little bit of a help. And we'll just sit with our feet together, and we'll feel a sense of opening in our groin. You may want to have blocks underneath your legs to keep your legs up. Or you could just let them fall to the side, and gravity will help you work on this. So the theme today is the second chakra, which is Manipura. Oh no, it's not Manipura, sorry. The second chakra, which I've just temporarily forgotten the name of, which is Svadhisthana. That's the second chakra. And it is the sacrum, the base of the spine. So the flat part at the bottom of your spine is connected to it. Your reproductive organs are also connected to it. And the spleen, your urinary system, and your lower abdomen. So it's a very rich space. And the theme today will be flow, sweetness, creativity, and the kind of lunar cycles. So I like doing this chakra because it opens us up to pleasure and to feeling joy. I taught an in-person class the other day, and I ended up beginning the class with all of us dancing to Miss Chatelaine by Katie Lang. That was quite a lot of fun, but I won't do that today. But that's something you might want to do, is put on Katie Lang after this and have a little dance. So we're just sitting here with our feet together. You can use a mudra here and put your thumb and your finger together, your index finger, and open your palms up. And just feel the sense of surrender to the pose and a sense of openness. And we're breathing here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And I'll just begin with a lovely quote by Jack Cornfield, the Buddhist teacher. To let go does not mean to get rid of. To let go means to let be. When we let be with compassion, things come and go on their own. So I'll just invite you just to keep breathing in this posture while I take my little doggie, who's going to begin to bark at the neighbors. I'm going to put her in her little crate, which she doesn't mind at all. And here we go, baby. All right. So much for Ruby Coyote's debut. All right, here we are. Now you can hold onto your toes and really straighten your back up like this. And we're going to do some hand exercises while we're here. So we're just going to intertwine our fingers and stretch our hands out, and then lift them up to the ceiling and then stretch them out. And we're going to embrace ourselves with one arm above, and then open out and embrace ourselves with another arm above and open out. Good, we'll do this another 2 times on each side. Here we go. And we can really inhale with our arms wide and exhale when we bring them in. Inhale through our nose and exhale. So we're just landing in our class. And now we can put our hands, one hand on the side, and we can lift up and curve over, our first real stretch of the morning or afternoon or evening, and curve over the other side. And now we're going to just flow back and forth. If this is too hard on your legs, you can just straighten your legs out and not worry about, you don't need any pain. You just need a little discomfort to move you to your edge and back again. Good. So we're just flowing back and forth, simple movements, just to awaken our body to the pleasure of movement and of flowing back and forth. Good. Now we're just going to come back into child's pose, and we're going to focus on the sacrum, which is this flat part right here. And I'm going to be reading some things as I go along, so I've got my notes here. We're just going to, I have a wide child's pose with my toes together. I am drawing my hips back, and you can have, if you want to put something underneath your forehead, you could, or you can draw your body down to the earth, and you can have your hands behind you, or you can stretch them out in front of you. And maybe stretching out in front of you is a good thing at this minute, because it does allow us a nice stretch. And you're really stretching straight in front, and you're walking your hands now over towards your left and stretching your hands out, and then walking over towards your right and then stretching out and back again to the center. Good. All right. So while we're doing our poses, I'm going to invite you to do some affirmations. So the first affirmation that we'll talk about is the affirmation of I love and enjoy my body without judgment. So that's something you could say to yourself. I love and enjoy my body without judgment. And I'm pressing my hands into the ground here. I'm stretching my fingers out in cat and cow, and I'll do it this way. And I've got my pressing my hands and into it, and I'm turning my toes under, just because I want to stretch my toes, but you can have them flat on the ground. And here I'm inhaling. No, sorry, I'm exhaling. And here I'm inhaling when my chest is open. And I'm exhaling now. And I'm exhaling. I'm inhaling, sorry. Exhaling with your arching your back up, and you're drawing your navel in towards your spine. And now you're inhaling with your chest open. And you're exhaling. And now you're inhaling. I love and enjoy my body without judgment. Now I'm just going to flatten my feet on the ground, and I'm going to sway my hips to one side and then move them in a circle around. So I'm really giving myself a lovely hip movement here. So I'm pushing that one hip out and then going back almost to my heels and to the side and then forward and then back almost to my heels and then back. So you're imagining that your sacrum is holding a cup of tea on your back, on your lower back. And somehow that tea does not spill while you're doing this. So you're just moving your hips out and around and then back. And now I'm reversing direction here with a lovely hip movement. And this does feel like a release. Good. Now we're going to go up into a downward dog. So we're just stretching the hands out and putting your toes under and lifting up into a downward dog, and you'll find the right length. So I often tend to have a downward dog that's too short because I can get my heels down here, but that's not the point. You need to have some real extension here. So I like to have it a little bit longer than I'm comfortable with, so I really can work at my hamstrings. And here I'm just going up on my toes, and then I am going down with my heels, and then I'm going up on my toes and I'm bending my knees, and then I'm putting my heels down and straightening my legs. So this is a lovely stretch for your hamstring. And I'm going to come up again on my toes, and then I'm going to walk the dog. So one heel after another is going up and down. Good. And we're just really feeling a lovely opening here. Now, if it's too much in your hands, come down into child's pose at any time and go back up into downward dog. We're going to be working downward dog for a moment here. So, and I'm going to take my left leg, bend it, and then stretch it up and bend that knee. The heel is moving towards your glute. Your shoulders should be level, and you are pressing into that back thigh to open up the leg, straighten that leg, move the heel towards the ground. And here I'm just going to circle the hips here. So I'm circling that leg, moving my foot and my leg around one way, and then I'm opening it up and moving it around another way. Good. And now I'm stretching it up and bringing it down, and I'm going to go into child's pose before we do the other side. So here we are. Oh, feeling a sense of release. Now, one of the affirmations for this is I have healthy boundaries. I have healthy boundaries. And that's a tough one, even at 73. The idea of your own boundaries, sometimes you forget about them, and you manage to take on too much, or you find yourself agreeing to things you don't really want to do or agree with. You just so sometimes going with the flow can be problematic. Now here I'm really just wiggling my body back and forth, my torso, and settling into the child's pose. Now we're going to come back up. I'm just stretching my fingers out, really feeling the suction cup of the palm of the hands. And then I'm lifting up, turning the toes under and going back into downward dog. And we're going to just lift the right leg up and open up that knee, lift the knee up. The heel is moving towards the glute, and we're just going to circle that knee and leg. So we're really rotating the hip here and feeling an opening in the hip. And we'll go the other way around. And now we're lifting that up. And we're going to come back into child's pose. Here we go. And I'm just, okay. Now, we're in child's pose here for a moment. And now we're going to lift back up into hands and knees. And we're going to go into Swan, which is pigeon. So I am bringing the right leg forward, and I have it at an angle, and I'm drawing my left leg back into Swan. Now here you could have blocks if you need them to put your hands on. To really, and you're getting a lovely back bend here. As well, you're opening up your hip flexor in your left leg, and you're stretching your glute in your right leg. Now, we should be breathing easily here, which I'm not, but I'm going to work on it. We're breathing easily through our nose. So, I love and enjoy my body without judgment. I love and enjoy my body without judgment. And at my age, I have to really love that crepey skin under my arms, the under part of my arms. That is a kind of interesting revelation when you have crepey skin. And women tend to wear long sleeves, or, sleeves to their elbows, or flappy things that go around their upper arms to hide these crepey skin. But I say, let's just celebrate crepey skin. We are, in fact, part crocodile at this point. Anyway, okay, here we go. We're just really, really feeling that lovely opening. Now we're going to move into sleeping swan, or a version of that. We're going to go down to our elbows if we can. If this is too much, once again, go back into child's pose or into downward dog. And you can move into sleeping swan. And I just use my forehead on my hands here. And this is a very deep stretch, especially of the bent leg in the front. The glutes are really being stretched and open. And the hip flexors being stretched and open here. Okay, so let's just push back because that is uncomfortable enough. And I'm going to just, I think I'll do a twist here just to give us a little respite from this. So where I'm just going to curve our back leg around and feel that I'm now in a perfect half Lord of the Fishes pose. And I have this knee bent. Hard to tell with all my black clothing. And then I'm just going to lift my left arm up. So my right arm up. My left knee is up. My right arm is up, up, up. I'm pressing my left hand into the floor, and I'm twisting from the waist around and catching with my arm, or you could hold on to your leg. You do what is you. And I'm having a very nice stretch here and moving around, feeling a lovely opening. It's been really warm here and very beautiful, and I have a bit of a mania for gardening, and I hired a dear friend and we went wild in the garden. I just had such a good time, but I'm very stiff. So it's a good thing to do a twist here. And we're breathing here, inhaling and exhaling and feeling our body turning, 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 flowing into this twist. And feeling the sweetness of our movements. Okay, and now we're coming back around And we're going to do the other leg. So this would be your left leg in front. We're going to go back into Swan and just stretch that other leg back. So this should be your left knee in front. And you can, the full pose is with your foot sickled and flexed here, and your foot flexed at a 90 degree, but I can't do that, so I point it at about 45 degrees, and then I slide my foot back. And I can come up here into Swan or upright pigeon, Swan in Yin language, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. And now I'm going to come down to my elbows here, hands flat on the ground. The elbows should be underneath your shoulder blades. And you'll have two different sides. One side will be more mobile than the other. And in this case, I have, I'm very asymmetrical with this posture. So one side is actually quite difficult and the other is very easy. So you might find that as well. And now I'm going to go down into Sleeping Swan and just rest my forehead on my hands for a moment and feel that sense of release here. And feel the breath flowing through your body from the tips of your toes to your crown chakra at the top of your head. And now we're going to just push ourselves up, have one last lovely back bend here. And then we're going to fall back onto our behind and cross that leg that was behind us in front, and we'll do a twist the other way. So you might have the bottom foot stretched out in front of you, or you can bend it behind you in the full half Lord of the Fishes pose. I don't know why it's called half Lord of the Fishes, but it is. All right, here we go. We're stretching our hand up, and we're turning from the waist. So first our waist goes around, then our ribs, then our chest, and then lastly our head. And pushing with your back hand into the floor allows you to really elongate your spine. And the point of this is axial elongation. That is, we are twisting around, but we are also rising up at the same time. And we want to plant that foot into the ground and really feel the rotation. It's a very strong, powerful pose and a beautiful one. And we can breathe here, especially into our side ribs. And we want to feel this as a kind of fluid movement. So we want to feel the flow of the twist with our breath. So we inhale and we rise up, and we exhale and we turn a little bit further. We inhale, rise up, and then exhale, we turn a little bit further. And now we're going to come back to the front and stretch our legs out and give them a little bit of a shake. Okay, now we're going to do Dandasana or Caterpillar here. And here I've left all my straps somewhere else, so I don't have a strap with me, but you'll have to just imagine I have a strap here. And I'm going to move forward, and I've got a little band here that I'm going to use. So you could hold on to your strap and feel your spine really straight up. So you've got a nice curve here, the natural curve of your spine. And your head, you imagine you have that little thread, the top of your crown chakra, and it's moving up. And you are just in a beautiful, beautiful space. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And you can now, if you like, you can fold over. I have a little cramp in my muscle here, so I'm massaging it out. You can fold over here into a curve, and you can hold on to your shins if you like. And just relax here. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Feeling that sense of loving this beautiful body that we have been born into. And feeling it does enough of what we need for us to find joy. And here, as we are, you can hold on to your toes, the tops of your feet, the sides of your feet, and just feel that sense of surrender to the pose. And the affirmation here is, I can give and receive pleasure. I can give pleasure and I can receive pleasure. And we're just inhaling and exhaling. Good. And now we're just going to roll up, and we'll put our hands behind us, flat on the floor, and just stretch our chest open here. And now we're going to just embrace ourselves to give our arms a little bit of love here. Okay, good. So we're going to go into frog. Now, frog is a tricky pose. It's your legs are, you can go into half frog or full frog, but if you go into frog, your knees are out and they're behind you, and then you're laying on the ground. So it's a tricky pose. Let me just move back here. Okay, and now we're coming down here. It's quite hard to do. So my feet are sticking up, but that's okay. It's whatever you can do. And you can do half frog, which would just be one leg straight and the other leg bent. We're just breathing here in frog. Now I'm going to try and fix this problem I have. Okay, I think I'm going to go into half frog for the moment. So one leg is straight and the other is bent. And I can work on one side and then I can straighten that leg and
bend the other one. And now we're just going to stretch our legs back and come up into Sphinx. So this is just a back bend, similar to what we were doing when we were in Swan. And hands are flat on the ground, elbows underneath our shoulders, and we're pressing our forearms into the ground. And this is allowing for an opening in our curvature of our spine to develop more mobility in our spine. And if you like, while you're here, you can lift one leg up and press your pelvis into the ground, one foot up rather, and then drop it down. And you can do the same thing on the other side. Lift the other leg, foot up, and you can press that thigh into the ground and the pelvis. And then you can lower it down. And I'm just going to do that back and forth in a kind of movement. You can also just flex your feet, but it allows you to open a little bit the front thigh. And we're just breathing here. Good. Now, we're going to come back into our supported bridge. So I'm going back into a child's pose for a moment. Just going to rest here in the child's pose. And think about what it means to let go. Letting go doesn't mean getting rid of. Letting go with compassion means that you allow things to come and go. I love that. You allow things to come and go. And just as in Zen meditation, where you're allowing those clouds in your consciousness as you're meditating, you're watching those clouds go by. You're not attaching to any of them. You're just letting them drift by. You notice one, and then it goes across your field of vision, and you let it go. You notice another one, another cloud, as it moves across your field of vision, and then you let it go. Now we're back up onto our hands and knees, and we're going to go into a supported bridge. So this just requires a block or two, whatever you like, and you can put it on whatever level you want. I'm going to put it on, I think, the second level. And you make sure that it's right underneath your sacrum, which is the very flat part at the base of your spine. So you want it right there under your sacrum. So I've got it here. Maybe I'll start with it just very low and see how that feels this morning. And we're just moving back here. Good. So once again, our affirmations are, and we can just stretch our legs out here, and we can flex our feet. Now you have to find that perfect spot for it to be on your sacrum. And you can stretch your heels out. And this is a very modest back bend, but it really is a very comfortable pose. And it is allowing us to really feel our sacrum, which is the second chakra, what we're trying to work with. And we can even massage our belly, our lower belly, and just go around in one direction and then go around in the other, and really feel this pose is honoring our reproductive organs, if we have them. I think I have none left, or half of them or something, and your sacrum. So this is a very good pose for your lower abdomen. All right, so our affirmations, which I will repeat, is our I love and enjoy my body without judgment. I move with ease and am able to go with the flow. I am at home in my body without judgment. I am able to give and receive pleasure. And we're just opening up. Now you can, if you like, bend your knees, and you can bend one leg and straighten it up. And I'm pressing into my heel here. And then you can lower it down. And you can bend the other knee and straighten your leg up and press into your heel. And then bend your knee and lower it down. And then if you feel like it, you can bend both legs and then extend your heels up. And this is a lovely inversion. We're not doing headstands or handstands or shoulder stands in this class. So this allows for the body to invert and the blood to flow towards your heart. And this is very good for your brain too, to have an opportunity to flood it with blood and oxygen. And while you're laying down here, you can ask yourself some questions. What would I like to create, do, or be today? What would I like to create, do, or be today? And now I'm going to bend my knees, put my feet on the floor, lift my buttocks up and remove the block. And then I'm going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae so that my sacrum is on the ground, and I'm extending my legs out into Shavasana. And I'm inhaling and exhaling here. And I'm noticing 5 things in the room I'm in that I can see with my mind's eye. 5 things I can see with my mind's eye. And now I'm noticing 4 things I can hear. And 3 things that I can taste. two things I can smell, and now put your thumb and your index finger together, and the one thing you can touch. And while you're waking up to your everyday life, I'm going to read something from 1963. It's an essay called The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, the brilliant African-American writer. And Baldwin writes,
One must say yes to life and embrace it whenever it is found. And it is found in terrible places. Nevertheless, there it is. For nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out. So I'm dedicating this class to the thought of Kamala Harris winning the presidential election, which would be a good thing and a lovely precedent, having a racialized woman as a leader of a large state. And with that, you can feel the life come back into your fingers and toes. And you can imagine that you are welcoming a lapping stream at your toes. You're inhaling and you're exhaling. Inhaling and you're exhaling. The light is always changing. The earth is always shifting. And we can always let go, which doesn't mean to get rid of. It means to let things come and go. All right, you can push yourself up onto your side, curl up, and move into a seated position when you have a minute. And I'll just put my hands on my heart chakra and inhale. And then I'm going to move my hands, the back of my hands, to my sacrum. And I'm going to inhale into my sacrum, into that pleasure center, into that giving and receiving pleasure place. And breathe there for a moment. And I'm going to put my hands on my chest again. Inhaling and exhaling. And I'm going to thank you for spending time on your mat, feeling the gratitude of community and connection. The teacher in me sees and honors the teacher in you, and the student in me sees and honors the student in you. I dedicate the merit of this practice to all those who struggle for justice. Deep bow to all of you.